All right, welcome to the Entrepreneur Insider Secrets podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the mindset shifts that you need to be successful in the online world. Now, as someone who has done this a lot over the years, someone who has been at this online business world for a very, very long time, one of the things that I learned very, very clearly was that you face a lot of barriers, you face a lot of obstacles when you are a entrepreneur. You face a lot of challenges, a lot of things staring at you that you go, I don't know if we're going to be able to figure this out. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. Now we got to figure out how to solve this problem. Now we got to figure out how to solve that problem. But there was one barrier that was always the biggest. There was one barrier that was always the biggest challenge to being able to advance to the next level of success. And that barrier was always the person I looked at in the mirror every morning. It was always my own mindset, my own thought process, my own way of viewing my life, the way of viewing my business. It was my mindset that was constantly the barrier. It was constantly the thing that was stopping us. And so I had to really constantly reevaluate how I thought about things. How was I viewing this problem? How is this a problem that's insurmountable? Or is it a problem that just needs a solution that's different from what I've ever done before? And so there are some really, really critical things that happen here, because so often people get stopped in life. They get to a certain point of success and then they stop. They cannot go any further. They cannot get any further. Why? Because they're trying to use the patterns of the past to solve the problems of the future. And the reality is, the things that got you to where you are today are likely not going to take you to where you want to go in the future. It's going to require a new strategy, a new approach, a new way of doing things. And to get there, you're going to have to grow. You're not going to be able to do the same things that you did in the past. You're going to have to grow into that next phase of success, that next phase of growth. And so what becomes so important in all of this is that you have to learn how to cultivate those right set of beliefs. You have to learn how to cultivate the right kind of attitude, the right approach to problems. How are you going to go after this issue? How are you going to build habits that support your dream? How are you going to build habits that support you being able to achieve the things that you want to achieve? And so what we're going to be talking about today is some of the things that need to happen inside of you, inside your mindset, inside of who you are, to help you continue to move forward, because this is critical. This is absolutely 100% critical. If your mind isn't right, you will get knocked out of the game faster than any other problem that could come your way. If your mindset is not on what it needs to be to succeed, you will quit. Hands down, over and over and over again. The only way you're going to succeed is if you learn how to grow the way you think. So, what is the first thing I want to talk about today? First thing I want to talk about is shifting from perfection to progress. Now, this is something that I see all the time. Is people feel like, well, I want to launch my business, or I want to do this, but I'm not ready, or the market's not ready. I know somebody that I was talking to the other day who's looking for a job in a certain field, and this field is it's very difficult to get into right now, especially for somebody just starting out. And there's just closed door after closed door after closed door, and the obstacles to get there are pretty steep. For entry level jobs, they want 4 years of experience, and you're like, how in the world am I going to do that? How am I going to get an entry level job that now requires experience if I can't get an entry level job? If I can't get a job to start, I can never get the experience. And so it's like it's like you're locked out of the game. And so what can happen is people can tend to say, well, then what's the point of trying? I'm tired of being rejected. I'm tired of hearing no. I'm tired of not being able to make it. Or perhaps you're in your business, and your business is, like, I know what I need to do to get started. I know some of the things I need to work on, some of the things I need to get out there, but I don't feel like I'm ready. I don't feel like I know what I'm doing all that well. I don't feel like I have it all figured out. I look at other people and they're all polished and they're all smooth and they got this thing really nailed down. And I'm just not there. I will feel silly because I'm not ready for it. And here's the reality is that the reason those people are looking so smooth, the reason those people are having success is because they've been doing it for a while. And we've talked about this in a past episode, but if you want that confidence, if you want confidence to be able to do what you need to do, to confidence that you can be successful in what it is that you're trying to achieve, then the one thing you need is reps. You need to go out there and you need to do it again and again and again. And you need to let go of this notion of, oh, I'm not ready. I don't know what to do, how I'm doing it. I'm not good at this. This is not something that I'm natural at. Because there's only one way to get better. There's only one way to have confidence in it. And confidence comes because you've done it enough times that you're now comfortable doing it. Your belief in yourself is going to grow. Your sense of your identity, your sense of your self-worth is going to grow simply because you did it. Now, I know I've talked about my gym journey quite a bit on this podcast, but it really does apply a lot to how I think all this fits in the world of business as well in our lives. See, when I first started going to the gym a few years ago, I could do nothing. I am like struggling with just lightweight, and I was so out of shape. I hadn't lifted weights or done anything like that in probably 25 years. And I was in a place where just even the lightest of weights were a struggle. And then I look over at the person on the bench next to me or on the squat rack next to me or someone who's around me who's doing a similar exercise. And I look and like that person's benching 300 pounds and I'm benching the bar. And I'm going, oh, this is humiliating. This is ridiculous. This is embarrassing. I'm like, I hope no one's watching me because I feel like such a fool out here because I'm terrible at this. I suck at it. And yet I had a trainer because I knew I needed help. I needed help figuring this out. And I knew I wanted to do this. And the trainer just looked at me and said, David, it doesn't matter. You're only competing against one person. And that person is you yesterday. Are you just a little bit better than you were yesterday? Are you just a little bit more skilled at this? Are you able to do just a little bit more than what you were the last time you did this? Are you starting to slowly but surely make progress? And that helped me so much. That helped me on that journey so much because I'm sitting there going, it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter if I'm good at this. All that matters is I'm getting better. I'm improving. I am becoming better than what I used to be. And, then you realize you look into the gym and you go around and you realize everybody's just focused on themselves anyway, or they're focused on the cute girl in the yoga shorts, it's in the tight top and the, what I'm talking about. They're all looking at her anyway. No one's looking at me. No one cares. And so I just stopped worrying about how I looked. I stopped worrying about how I stacked up to everybody else. I stopped worrying about how I was in comparison to the other people. And I just focused on getting better. I just focused on what do I need to do to improve? How can I take a step forward? How can I go from being able to only bench just the bar to actually having a little bit of weight on the bar? Like, all right, I can do this now. I can make progress. And I just let it go. I let go this, I need to be perfect at this before I'm really ready to do it. And I just focused on progress. I just focused on what do I need to do to get better. And the same thing happens to you in your business. If you want to grow a business, you have to work on your business. If you want to grow as an entrepreneur, if you want to get into a field where you want to work in that field, you got to work at it every single day. The only way you're going to improve, the only way you're going to get better is to take action. Because as long as you don't take action, what's happening is you're telling yourself a story. You're telling yourself a story that, yeah, I don't have what it takes. Look at all these other people. Look at what they're doing. Look at how good they are. Look at how skilled they are. Look at how talented they are. Look at all the things they have going on. I don't have any of that. I don't have any of those gifts, those skills, those abilities. Look at how much better they are than me. Instead, you're thinking those guys are just almost perfect at this. They've become so skilled at it. They're so gifted at it. And then you just sit there and go, well, then what's the point of me trying? What's the point of me even taking action? And as a result, you never get better. You never improve. You never move forward because you're focused on, well, I have to be perfect before I can really go and do any of this. And I'm not perfect, so I'm not going to try. And you see how your mindset stops you from having success? Your own mindset will look at a problem and say, it's insurmountable, so what's the point? Your mindset will say, I don't know how to do it. It's too hard. It's too difficult, so I quit. And instead, what you need to do is you need to embrace I'm just going to keep trying. Because one of the things that I learned in being an entrepreneur is a lot of times the people who were successful weren't the smartest people. They weren't the most talented people. They weren't the most gifted people. They were just the people that just kept working. They were the people that just kept going at it. They were the people who just kept trying. And they weren't afraid to keep failing. Because here's the reality. You're going to fail. You're going to mess up. You're going to fall short. It's part of the journey. I wish I could tell you that it wasn't. I wish I could sit here and tell you honestly that, oh, hey, just like everyone else, you're just like me. You're going to put this out there, and next week you're going to have 20 new clients, and you're going to have high success, and you're going to have all this amazing stuff falling in your lap. Well, maybe, but highly unlikely, especially if you're just getting started, because you have a lot of growing to do. You have a lot of things that have to happen. You have a lot of things that have to come your way. And you have a lot of skills to develop. You have to improve your attitude. You have to improve your internal sense of confidence. Because I know one thing, that people don't like buying for people who don't have confidence in what they do. Let's be honest. If I hear somebody and they're not confident about what they're offering to do for you, I don't want to hire them. I'm like, I'm not sure that they believe they can get me that result. I'm not sure they believe that they can do this. And if they don't believe it, well, then I'm not going to spend money on it. I'm not going to invest money in something that I don't have a degree of confidence is going to get me what I'm after. And so they have that. But then you look at this and you go, well, how am I going to get that confidence? Well, you get the confidence by getting reps, as I said before. You get the confidence by taking action and being willing to just keep going, even if you're not having tons of success. You just keep going. You keep doing it because you know it's what you need to do. And here's the thing. I had to embrace my growth journey in the gym in public. I had to embrace the fact that I'm going to do this and other people are going to look over and see me and go, that's all that guy can do? That's it? That's all he's capable of? Ugh. But what I realized is that while I thought other people would be looking over at me, shaking their head going, God, this guy's terrible. That's not what was happening. It's not what was happening at all. Because you see, now that I've been in there for a few years, I've made a lot of progress. I'm not by any means one of the top guys in the gym by any wild stretch of the imagination, but I'm a long way from where I was when I started, and for no reason other than the fact that I just kept going 3 times a week, Keep going, keep going, keep going. And slowly but surely, I'm getting stronger. I'm getting stronger. And I can do a lot of things that I couldn't do before. And now I have guys coming up to me in the gym saying how proud they are of me. I have guys coming up to me and just shaking my hand and saying, dude, I saw you when you first started. I saw what you were doing when you were in here. And I saw how you never quit. I saw how you kept going. And you just kept working and working. And I see what you're doing now. I'm proud of you. That's amazing. And I'm sitting there going, I thought these people were judging me. I thought these people were looking down on me for my lack of ability. No, they were just watching me, because everyone was on that journey at some point. Everyone had to start at the bottom. And this is true for your business as well. Is that everybody who is super successful now at one point had to start at the bottom. So they remember that. They remember that part of the journey where they were struggling. And the only people that don't are the people who are on the sideline who never tried. So whether you're starting your business, looking for a job, trying to get healthier, whatever it may be, focus on your progress. Don't focus on perfection. Don't worry about it. Let it go. Just take action. Just keep taking what you know. This is the next step. That's the next thing I could do. Even if you don't know exactly what all it is that you should be doing, that's the next step. Take that. Do that. Just get that. Keep working it. When I first started doing these podcast videos, I was uncomfortable. I was nervous. I didn't feel confident in doing this. But now that I've done a few hundred of them, no nerves at all, because I got the reps. I got the reps. I did it. And practice breeds confidence. Now, are there other people out there who are better at it than me? Sure. Not going to argue that at all. But I have greatly improved. I have learned how to do this much better simply because I just focused on continuing to do the work and continuing to get better. Next thing I want to hit on is you need to shift away from that comparison that we talked about earlier to clarity. And by that I mean you need to worry less about like, oh, well, you know what? I'm in a space and look at all these other people who are offering similar products, who are offering similar services, and they're so much better than me. They're so much more polished. There's so much more, out there. And I'm just this new person getting started. Why would someone want to work with me? Okay, stop worrying about comparison. This is not a comparison game, because new successful businesses are built every single day. New successful careers are built every single day. New peoples go from unhealthy to healthy every single day. The focus isn't on that. The focus is on what is it that makes you different. The focus is on clarity about what you do. Because you see, you're unique from everyone else. You're going to do things a little bit different from everyone else. So focus on how you're different, how your mission, how your purpose, how your approach is different than what other people are. Maybe you put a lot more time and effort and you focus so heavily on taking care of your clients, whereas the big boys, they're just processing transactions. But you're focused on taking care of your clients, making sure they get everything they need. You're high touch. You make sure that you're always in contact with them to make sure that they're clear, they have everything they need. You provide super service. And maybe you're not as big, but maybe you care more than the other people do. Maybe that's your superpower. Maybe that's the thing that you do better than anyone else. So focus on that. Focus on what your mission is. Why did you start this journey? Why did you start working down all this? What led you to this point that you wanted to do this in the first place? What led you to the point that you wanted this career or this business or whatever? Why'd you get here? Why did you start? There was a reason, there was a purpose, there was a drive behind it. You wanted to A, do something for yourself, and B, you wanted to do something for others. Because you knew that you had something that you could offer the world that was valuable enough that people would pay for it. And you would feel confident, you would build yourself up, you would build what you wanted for yourself, but you would also do other things that would impact other people in a positive way. So focus on your mission, not you're comparing yourself to everyone else. Focus on what you're trying to achieve, what you want to do. Focus on how you are unique in your own way, even if you're not as good, even if you're not as big, even if you're not as smooth. Focus on who you are. Don't imitate. Use your story to inspire other people. Because again, I'm sitting here in the gym thinking other people are just laughing at me. I'm looking in the gym thinking other people are just shaking their heads looking at me. I never in a million years believed that I was inspiring people in the gym. And that was what happened. Because I didn't even think that was possible, but here I am. And people are coming up, shaking my hand, saying, I'm so proud of you, dude. You inspire me for what you're doing because you never quit. You just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming, and you keep working and you keep working and you keep working. And now look at where you are. You're past so many other people simply because you just kept going. You focused on progress. And now you have an inspirational story. And so you have to just keep going. You have to keep working. You have to keep doing. And this clarity that you need, the clarity on how you should do things, on what you should do, on where you should go, comes from taking that consistent action. Again, just like confidence comes from taking action, getting lots of reps in, so your clarity is going to come from taking lots of action. Because what's going to happen is you're going to start working with people. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. And you're going to work on all these projects for people. And you're just going to taking these things on. And slowly but surely, you're going to realize, that's not really what I want to do. That's not really the right fit. It's close. It's in the ballpark. But that's really, no, I don't want to work on projects like that anymore. That's not me. That's not what I really want to do. It's not about that. It's not about me taking on this. This is much more where I fit. This is much more where I want to be. And you do that and you realize, I'm getting clarity on exactly what it is. And so as you continue to work, as you continue to do things, you narrow the funnel. You narrow things down and you realize, no, not that kind of work, this kind of work. And that helps you know how to refine your marketing. That helps you know how to refine your job search. That helps you know what to say yes to and what to say no to. Because you know that's for me, that isn't for me. That's not the right fit, but this is. And you know how to do this. And you know what it is that you want. And that only comes from consistent action that's aligned with your purpose. Not sitting here constantly just overanalyzing things. That's not sitting there constantly thinking about it. You have to actually do the work. Because again, I had some clients there for a while. I was building some marketing funnels for people. And we were working on all this stuff, doing all these things. And man, it was a grind because the clients weren't responding with the information that we needed to be able to do the things. And it was so much work to get things done. And I just realized that I love helping people build their business, but actually doing the work of building the actual funnel, a done for you service where I'm building the funnels for them. That wasn't what I wanted to do. It was close, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. It was way too much of a headache. And I was trying to manage all these different projects. I was trying to keep all these things straight, and it turned into a mess. And I didn't want to do it anymore. I did not want to take that kind of project anymore. So I actually had people come up later and want to hire me for that. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. That's not the type of work I want to do anymore because that isn't a fit for my mission. It isn't a fit from what I do. But the only way I knew that was to take that action and to do the work and to realize, nope, not for me. So the last thing I want to share with you today is I want you to shift away from this hustle culture and just focus on what's really meaningful. You see, in so many ways, we have some of these people, these guys, for lack of a word, these dudes who are out there promoting hustle culture. You want to win, you just got to outwork everybody else. You got to work. And basically, these guys are out there chasing every dollar that comes in front of them. Oh, we can make money doing that. Let's do that. Oh, there's an opportunity to make money here. Do that. And all they're doing is chasing dollars all day, and they're hustling endlessly, and they're killing themselves because it's a never-ending chase to make money. Hustle culture will just destroy you. As a person who used to work 80, 100 hours a week, it was awful. I had no life aside from work. It was the old statement of, working to live instead of living to work. And you realize, I don't want to live to work. I don't want to live solely to exist just to go, I get up and all I do is get up and go to work all day. I don't want that. I want to work so that I can live a life. I want to work so that I can have an enjoyable life as a person. I just don't want to be some resource that people use to get what they want. I want to actually be a human being. And what that involves is you have to steward your life. You have to realize I can't chase every shiny object. I can't chase every opportunity. I have to know what it is specifically that I want to do. And I need to stay focused on that mission. I need to stay focused on what it is that I want to achieve and stay there. So you don't waste all this time hustling, grinding, hustling, working, taking this on, taking that on, do this, do that. No, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to take that on. I don't want to do those things. I don't want to work myself into the ground because it's too much. So success becomes not about grinding harder. It's about aligning your work with your values, with your purpose, with making things more aligned, because then that every time you go to work on something, this is what I want my life to be. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to work. This is what I want to do. And so this stewardship element is about managing your time, your gifts, your energy in a way that solely aligns with your goals. And too often I see entrepreneurs come back from a conference, they come back from an event, and they're like, oh, yeah, somebody said you can make money doing this, or somebody said you can make money that. Now they're off on this trail, then they're off on that trail. And I'm just like, okay, you're just chasing wherever you think the money might be. You're not pursuing a vision. You're not pursuing a mission. You're solely trying to do whatever you think is going to get you paid. And that's the hustle culture that will eventually drive you into the ground. So don't do that. Focus on your purpose. Focus on your mission. Know with clarity, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do, and stay there. Stay in your lane. Stay where you are. Stay and work in that and build that business. Build that career. Build that life that's focused on that mission that you want for your own life. So if you can do that, not only will you be successful because you're staying focused on one goal instead of chasing 10, but you will also have success in that you will be a significantly happier person. As you will figure out how to be successful. You will figure out how to get more clients. You will figure out how to help more people if you just stay focused on the primary goal that you have. And if you do that, there's no end to where things might go for you. There's no end to where things might be. And you can then build a business that sustains you, a business that fulfills you, build a business that drives you, not one that stresses you out and makes you want to quit. Not a business that wears you out and exhausts you and that you start dreading going to every day. No, you build a business because that's where I want to be and that's what I want to do, because it's aligned with your purpose and your mission and your values. So to wrap things up, remember, progress over perfection. Don't worry about everything being just right. Start taking action before you're ready, even if it's small. But take consistent, repeated action, because to build that skill to become more perfect in what it is that you do, there's only one way to get there, and that's reps. You got to take the reps, and you got to get yourself in the right mindset that you're willing to take action despite the fact that you're not going to look so great on the first few times. You got to get over it. You got to let it go and just focus on making progress and on getting better. Next one is clarity over comparison. Stop worrying about what everyone else is doing. Stop worrying about anyone else's mission. Just focus on yours. What makes you unique? What is your purpose? What is the thing that you're trying to achieve? What are you trying to do for people? How are you trying to help them? How are you trying to make a difference in their lives? When you do that, you stand out because your story is always going to be different than anyone else's. So stay focused on who you are and what you're about. And lastly, steward your life instead of embracing the hustle culture. Don't sit there and get yourself all wrapped up in, I have to work harder, harder, harder. I have to chase everything that can potentially make me money. No, steward your time, steward your energy, steward your focus. Stay on track with what it is that you know you're supposed to do. So I hope you found all that helpful. I hope that you find and realize that your ability to keep your mind right, to keep your mind focused on the things that you need to do to be successful is critically important in your ability to achieve anything in life. Focus on the right things and you will get the result. Focus on the wrong things and you're going to quit. And you're going to find yourself on the sidelines saying it can never work. And meanwhile, someone else is achieving the dream that you had. Don't let that be you. Take action and keep working on it. And if you need help, we're always here for you. Check out designlaunchgrow.com. Fill out an application. Check it out. We'd love to talk to you and see if we can help you. Otherwise, I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you again in the next episode.